Pisces, how are you? Welcome to your May 2016 Love and General readings. I don't have too much to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Okay. Here she comes. This is my cat, Duncan. She's been sort of lurking around in all the readings. I decided to do it on the floor this month, and she's enjoying it very much. So she may cover up the cards, though. With the Ace of Wands, in the center of the reading, I'm really sensing like a newfound spirit within you, a newfound joy and zest for life. I'm kind of sensing that you might be coming out of something, right? Usually when you have the Ace of, or not usually, but for me, when you have the Ace of Wands, it typically means like you're feeling happy and you're feeling elated and things you feel are kind of going well. With the Five of Swords in reverse, it means that maybe there was some drama in your life, some circumstance, some issue, something that maybe was kind of an empty fight, right? Like it wasn't anything worth fighting about, and yet you found yourself caught up in kind of a little bit of a toxic situation. This can happen in couples, in singles. In singles, it can indicate, dating unnecessary or inappropriate people. Not unnecessary, but people that aren't, compatible with you or that aren't in line with the way you live your life, just different things. But that I see that maybe you might be coming out of that. The Lovers in reverse strikes me here at the bottom because I kind of feel like even though you have this positivity in your life, this positivity in your love realm, that there is still something that is like holding you back a little bit, something that's making you feel a little uneasy. And I'm going to be honest with you, this uneasiness is a theme amongst a lot of the signs this month in my readings. And when I say uneasy, I just mean like you're not really feeling like yourself. Okay, here we have, I'm going to put you here as the Queen of Cups, right? Pisces, you're a water sign, you're very intuitive, very creative, you have a real beauty, your soul is very sweet, it's very friendly and approachable, and yet you're feeling either hurt or unable to harness this newfound positivity in your life, okay, and really enjoy it for everything that it could be. I'm sensing here this Queen of Wands as being a partner, someone you're dating, a series of people that you're dating, or, your husband or wife of 20 years, right? Whoever that indicates for you. And I'm seeing them as being connected with this Ace of Wands. I mean, you both are connected with this Ace of Wands, right? It's in the very center. It's connected with everything. And what's interesting is that they are, strong, they are forward looking, they are powering through, right? Directly connected with the Strength card. Powering through, they are balanced, they are really like doing really great. They're in their element, okay? Whereas you, I think, are maybe projecting energy more towards them than they are back to you. And while there are positive things happening in your relationship, and there are new opportunities for growth, new opportunities for change, and I think you are sensing that something needs to change, that no longer do you want to hang on to these empty battles, right? But yet you have been left a little bit wounded, a little bit hurt by something that was said, something that was done. And I think that is preventing you, like I said, from really harnessing this opportunity. Now, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is an interesting card, because also a theme for a lot of signs this month. It's the universe doing its work, but it's not ready for you to move on, right? It's not time for you to be, even though you have beautiful things, there are things entering your life. This could be a new partner coming in, right? Or a new chapter, a new adventure with your existing significant other. But yet, there's always a reason, right? And I hate to be so generic and, philosophical about it, but how many times have we in our lives looked back and said, if it wasn't for this, then I would never have been here, or it really couldn't have been any other way, things like that. It's very philosophical, it's very untangible or intangible. And right now, the universe or God or whomever is placing people in certain places at certain times for certain purposes. And I think you are right where you're supposed to be. And that this sort of hesitation to move forward, this hesitation to make the change, you're undergoing the realization that a change needs to be made with your relationship, or with the people that you're dating. And this can be anything. It can be from stepping into a committed relationship if you haven't wanted a committed relationship for a long time. It can be becoming monogamous and exclusive. It could be a marriage, or any phase, any stage, retirement, having children. And yet you remain, there are some unresolved issues here, some unresolved emotions. That doesn't really make sense, but there are some emotions of some unresolved issues that are still lingering. And I think they are meant to linger, okay, as much as it sucks to hear that. But when you have the Wheel of Fortune card, it's a wheel that's always spinning. And in reverse, it is not quite at the top of its cycle, ready to start another one. It's still like making that end turn. But I think your partner is maybe unaware of these feelings. Your partner is unaware that maybe they hurt you, that maybe you're feeling something. And because I feel like they're very much at peace. They're very much doing their thing, right? They're at equilibrium, they're stable, they are feeling balanced, they're feeling good. And unbeknownst to them, there is a wedge between you. There is a situation, there is a state of mind that is a blockage, okay, from exploring the beauty that is the lovers, right? That true eternal connection with someone that is like, I don't know if you can see that, sorry, it's sort of dark, sorry. it is like that those soulmate qualities, they are present. Okay, I really do feel, whenever I have two characters, whether page, knight, king, or queen, especially king and queen, right? Especially those two, queen and queen, it tells me you are so on the same level, right? You have a very strong mutual understanding of one another. You're independent. You are running parallel paths, okay? You and your partner. And even these two particular characters here, they share open skies, right? Which kind of tells me that there might be a quality in your relationship that is like an air of openness, right? Open forum. Anything goes. I think you might be afraid to bring things up because of like positivity that is happening. You might be afraid to discuss some issues you're having or the way that you feel, afraid to tell them how what they did hurt you, or I'm sensing a little bit of fear. I'm sensing hesitation. Okay, you might see them and see them as, oh wow, like look, they're just moving forward. They're just going, like they're doing their thing. They have their whole life together. They're moving forward. Everything is great. I don't really know where my place is in their life. Why do they want me? Why do they need me? Okay, and why don't I feel like I can bring to the table these feelings? This is potentially a fire sign or a fire-like quality, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and they are by nature powerhouses. They push through. They make change fast. They make things happen. They live life very spontaneously, and they're always moving, they're always charging ahead, right? They process emotions in a very, very different way. You, as a water sign, internalize a lot of things. You look inward, and that's a beautiful thing. It's kind of what makes you so intuitive and empathetic towards others. It's why you are such a caring spirit and why you make such an awesome friend. But the differences in the approach to life might be, like I said, just acting temporarily or at this point in time as a wedge. And there might be some miscommunication or lack of information. Is there a possibility that your partner just doesn't know the way you feel? Is there a possibility that if you told them how you feel, that they would be on the same page? Would they be ready? And I think there is, like I said, that fear there that that if you sort of put yourself in that vulnerable state, that you might feel, or that you might not, it might not be returned, or it might be different for them, or, and I don't really think that right now really is the best time for things like that, because with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, things are still like coming full circle, right? We're not quite there yet. But let me pull some more cards, because I may contradict myself on that. So let's see. Hope you guys don't mind my cat laying on the cards. I don't know if you really need to look at them so much anyway, but okay, definitely that one. Okay, we have the Two of Cups, and we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Magician, but in reverse. So this is a card. This is kind of why I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't say, let me hope I don't contradict myself, is because here we have communication. We have that. You have the Lovers and the Two of Cups, right? That soulmate quality is present. Okay, and I think they feel it too, but because of their nature, because of their style and the way that they approach life, you might not ever know. You might not ever expect or suspect that they're on that same page with you. But it's nothing that communication can't fix, right? And telling them, and them telling you. And it's not so much that you need to approach it in such a heavy way, in such a, an ultimatum type of way. I think a more casual, because we have the Magician here, right? The Magician in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles. So it's, two aces and the Magician, one ruled by the Magician. It is a new beginning. Okay, if you have been having issues with your partner, you are experiencing a new fresh start with them, a new adventure with them, a new path. If you are just meeting someone new for the first time, you might have maybe fallen pretty hard or developed a really strong connection, a connection that maybe you're a little bit afraid of. But truth be told, this is a reward for you. This is meant to be this way. If you had issues in the past, past relationships gone bad, that sort of put your mental blocks up, your emotional blocks up, whatever that's happening now in your love life, any positive thing that's happening now. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some negative things, if people have been married for a long time and there's some arguments, of course there's negativity there as well. But looking toward the positive things, toward the new things that are coming in, the new adventures, right? Those positive things are the universe's way of rewarding you in some level. But be careful, obviously, I think you're in a vulnerable state right now. And with the Magician being in reverse, I think there is that, again, the hesitation and, again, I'm saying all the same words, again, the fear a little bit of allowing those positive things to come. Don't deny yourself the good because you are caught up with the bad. Okay, because people come with both. Relationships come with both. Everyone has flaws. Everyone has issues. Everyone has baggage from past relationships, unless you're, 16 years old. But everyone has things that have the potential to affect the future. And I think that's the reason the Magician is showing up here is to don't disallow good things to come in, and don't try to fight those things by hanging on so tightly to some of the things that are turning you upside down, that are flipping your stomach, the things that bother you, the things that make you spin, your mind spin, and just sort of allow things to come in naturally, allow things to come in organically, because truly you are being blessed. The heavens and the angels, they are on your side, and they are very much, they are giving you attention. Okay, the attention's on you right now. So really good reading for you, actually. I really hope you view it that way. I know sometimes, if you're going through a hard time in your relationship, it can be difficult to see some of the positive, but it's always worth it to at least try and see the positive there. So let me go ahead and do the general reading. Okay. Duncan is deciding it's bath time. Okay, well, I mean, a continued theme is moving on, moving away from fantasy, moving away from things that maybe we've made up in our mind, moving away from options, moving away from, feeling overwhelmed, feeling foggy, okay, towards clarity. I think what's happening is your life in general, okay, in all areas, not just love, not just finance, not just family and health and all of that, but I think we're all kind of experiencing this cloudiness or this fantasy. There were a lot of signs that had this card as well this month, but the overall theme of moving forward toward a common or toward a focused goal. Right, the star is wishes and dream fulfillment, right? Things coming to fruition. And sometimes when we're in this haze, we're in this fogginess, we don't know how to feel. Like I said, we're spinning, our minds are confused. Sometimes it's a common thing for us to go through something like that, and it's common for us to come out of it. Okay? And I think what you are maybe experiencing here is a little bit of Duncan. We have the sun, right? The sun, and so we have the light and we have the dark. And it's interesting that there's like a positivity and a negativity. And even here we have like a card of generosity. And I mean, this is even a positive card in reverse as well. But the devil to me is something that is energy draining, right? Something that pulls our soul out of us and requires attention, requires time. And, it might not be even any physical exertion, yet we feel exhausted by something, okay? If it is, in fact, your job, if your job is feeling quite stressful right now, or you're unsure of where you're going, you're unsure of your place in the company, or maybe you are working so much, right? And you're not even quite sure why or what's this all for, okay? Rest assured that you are headed toward attaining your goal. Okay, that this energy that you might feel is fruitless is not in fact fruitless. In fact, while you may be blind to it now, there is a light at the end of that tunnel. There is beauty, there is bounty. Okay, you have the sun, which for me is one of the most powerful cards. It blocks out any of the cloudiness, any of the darkness. I think you are feeling a little uprooted right now, okay? You're not feeling grounded, like I said. You're not feeling like yourself. And things aren't quite exactly what you were hoping they would be. But remember that Wheel of Fortune, okay? That can apply in any area of life as well. That when we are living our life, very generally speaking, we don't always have the reasons. We don't always know why. It can be unnerving at times to not feel that security, to not feel grounded and stable, and to not see, not feel like there really is an end. But in your case, there is. And I think you're going to be in this state for maybe, a while, coming months. But things will slowly unfold. Things will slowly unravel. You will start to see the things that you have been working so hard for come to fruition. Okay, in any area, right? Like a dream job or a dream opportunity or something you've been maybe saving your money for, and You haven't really been able to have fun. You've been putting so much focus towards saving for something, and yet maybe you feel like you're just never going to get there, and yet somehow you do. Okay, the universe can be a very generous thing, very generous. And when you ask, when you work, when you put forth that effort, when you dedicate yourself, okay, in a positive way, when you dedicate yourself to something or someone or some purpose, the universe rewards those things. It rewards us. And sometimes it's up to us to ask. If you really need something, and if you are truly willing and able to put the work into attaining something, the universe will bless us with that thing. Okay, and it's not like, you're lazy sitting there doing nothing. You're proving yourself, if you will, for lack of a better, form of imagery. You're proving yourself. You're proving that you deserve that. And if you don't get that, okay, if you don't receive it, it's because you're meant to receive something else. The universe answers no sometimes, but again, it's always for a reason. It's always for a purpose. And I think there's some sense of coming to reality for you. You are getting your heads out of the clouds. You are focusing in on what's attainable. You're focusing on things you have control over, the things that you can get without, the things that you can go after and the things that you can get, plain and simple. I feel like whenever I see this card, I always think of the word prison, like a mental prison, those blocks that we have. But you are relieving yourself from that prison. It is being released. Your blindfolds are coming off. You are experiencing, or you will experience, a newfound clarity, okay, and understanding. And like I said, things will slowly unravel. The universe will expose things to you when it's meant to be exposed. I'm speaking very generally, and I hope it can apply in some area of your life. But ultimately, there's a lot of movement happening. Okay, she's making all sorts of racket over there. Let me go ahead and pull out the extra cards. The Lovers card again, Seven of Pentacles again, both reversed again. Come on, Duncan. I think again the Nine of Swords. Sit down. The Nine of Swords reversed and attached to the Devil. So there is definitely a lot of darkness. There's definitely a lot of energy. When I say darkness, I don't mean bad things. I mean energy, right? There's a lot of energy being focused and honed in on one thing. And I think it's like, I try to tie it into other things, but having the presence of the Lovers, I really feel like this is very relationship based. Okay, there is a wedge, there is a hesitation for you to move forward. Something has hurt you in some significant way, and it is affecting your relationship. It is affecting your ability not to recognize that a change must be made, but the actions that you must take in order to make the change, right? I don't really know if I need to speak to that so much, but if your partner did hurt you in some way, if you have a I want to say like a grudge almost. If you're holding a grudge about something, I think you're going to be moving away from that. Very naturally, right? Like it's going to be a very natural transition from where you are now and to letting that go and offering forgiveness in some way. Might take time, it might be frustrating, it might be unnerving, but ultimately that is what is binding you. That is what is holding you hostage. You're kind of holding yourself hostage in a way by hanging on to that. You are debilitating yourself. And it's not on purpose, and it's not forever. It's just simply right now. And organically, like I said, you will move away from it. The universe can be incredibly generous when you allow good things to happen. And if you're willing to work for those things come to you. Okay. And I feel like I sound like a motivational speaker or something, but I mean, really, that's the message that I'm seeing here. If your heart has been broken, it's time to move away from that person. It's time to move away from those thoughts. You know, it might be a very like obsessive thinking, obsessive worrying, and like a very obsessive thing. And if that is the case, I see, like I say, an end in sight. I see a light at the end of the tunnel for you. With that, I'm going to close the reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you didn't mind my little bean hanging out with us. That's it. Thank you, and I will see you next month.